I don't really do lives a lot, but I really just felt like having a chat with everyone and sharing things with everyone. I know I've been posting like a lot of photos and little things lately, but sometimes it's good to have like an actual chat with you guys, because I appreciate you all. Very grateful for all of you guys who follow me on social media, especially the Instagram. The Instagram is where it's at. I do have like Snapchat and TikTok and Twitter as well, but I feel like Instagram is where it's at right now. Oh, and of course Facebook too. But yeah. So you guys, there's so much to talk about, and I felt like now is like a really good opportunity. It's almost the end of the year, almost the end of 2020. I mean, yay. I mean, however you feel about 2020, I know it's been a pretty shit year for most people. A lot of terrible things going on in the world, and a lot of nothing going on in a lot of places. So, thinking of you, especially those people who've had just a super, super tough time, whether it be with like your own health, the health of your family members, the health of your businesses, really, really thinking about you guys. So I know we'll get to the questions later. So if you have questions, save them up. Get ready to type them up, or, and I'll be answering, anything you want to ask me soon. But for now, by the way, Instagram Live is so weird. It's a bit like I'm having a conversation with myself, but I'm not. I'm having it with you guys. It's just I can't hear you back. I can see your little messages on the screen there. Oh, and the little love hearts as well. So that's brilliant. All right. So where to start? What do I start with? Well, I guess if you've seen any articles or been following me here on Instagram, I nicknamed 2020 the year of health. Yep. I've been theming my years for quite a while now, because I had like the year of fun, I had the year of love, but 2020 was the year of health, and it kind of was quite fortuitous. I don't know whether it's because I'm like a little bit psychic or something, but I always thought like, oh, I don't think I'm going to work much in 2020 for some reason, and I'm going to take that time to focus on my health. And then who could have predicted a global pandemic? I don't know. I mean, I feel like my coronavirus joke at the BAFTAs was like one of the first big coronavirus jokes. Then who would have thought? Like, obviously I didn't think at the time what it was going to turn into. And so 2020 started off, I was like out and about, going to the Oscars and the BAFTAs and whatever. And then all of a sudden in March, everything kind of stopped. But I turned 40 this year, and that was, I think, part of the reason why I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to be healthier, but I either just like didn't feel like I had the time, or felt like, oh, well, making a lot of money, being bigger, and, it's part of my comedic persona in a lot of ways. And so I would question, sometimes I would lose a few kilos, but then I'd gain it back. Like, I don't know whether you guys can relate to that. Like, yeah, I'll try this diet or go really hard on the exercise for a while, and then kind of gain it back. But I was determined in 2020, the year of health, to actually fully change like my whole entire lifestyle. So it meant not only like physically, but mentally as well. And weirdly, the mental kind of emotional side turned out to be the biggest thing for me, because I guess you can all logically learn what's healthy to eat and how much exercise you should do and stuff. But it was the emotional stuff about realizing why I was overeating, why I was emotionally eating, and trying to solve that. Now, first of all, I want to say, it's getting hot in this apartment, so I might take off my jacket. No. It's not that type of Instagram live, guys. Seriously. It's getting hot here. I got the heater on blast. Anyways, so what I wanted to say is that it's been a journey, and it's been like a little bit over a year from when I first started. And I want you first of all to know, like, I am not freaking perfect about it. It's not like I've had some incredible discipline and I've just like every day restricted or worked out like a beast. I mean, there's been days where I've done that, but it certainly hasn't been all the time. What I've more focused on is balance and attacking health from all different areas. And I fuck up. Oh, sorry if there's kids here. I know I shouldn't swear, but I bloody screw up all the time, and it's hard because I've probably been overweight probably since I was about 20, and then this year I turned 40, so it's probably 20 years. I was at my skinniest when I had malaria, when I almost died. And then when I came out of hospital, everyone's like, wow, what did you do? I'm like, yeah, almost died. So, but I probably haven't been the weight I am now since like high school, which has been interesting. But for 20 years, I've kind of been a bigger person and curvilicious and all that stuff. So it's been a full-on journey, but the point I was making is I am not perfect about it. I'm also not a medical professional. So some of the things that I want to share with you guys, I want you to know that it's just coming from a spirit of sharing, and a lot of people ask me questions, and this I think is a good way to cover a lot of things without, but I'm tongue-tied. But just know, like, I'm not a medical professional. I can only talk from my own personal experience and try to share some tips and stuff with you guys. And like anything, there's no right way to do things. There's no one person that has all the answers. There's no one book or one product or one thing you can buy. You can just learn little tidbits here and there and see what works for you. So anyway, so back on the journey, the 2020 year of health. So what happened, I guess, apart from turning 40 and thinking I wasn't going to maybe work that much this year psychically, and so I knew I'd have a bit more time. And then I was also freezing my eggs because, as all good career women out there should know, if that's something that interests you, it's a pretty good time to do it. And getting to 40 is kind of leaving it even a little too late. It's better to do it a bit earlier if you can. So I was thinking about fertility and having good quality eggs in the bank. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get healthy. And how I started is I did go to a professional place to do a detox, because the amount of sugar I was eating is like full on. I have the biggest sweet tooth. Ice cream, chocolate, brownies, like all of that stuff, guys. I mean, it is my weakness. I'm lucky I don't really have a huge issue, or anything with drugs and alcohol or gambling or sex addiction. Sadly, I don't have any of that. I don't have any of the rock and roll issues. What I do have is a real freaking sweet tooth, and suffer from emotional eating, whether that be happiness, sadness, celebrating, depressed, emotional eating was kind of the thing I did, and dealing with the stress. Obviously my job is amazing, and I love my job being an actress and a writer and producer, but sometimes it is extremely stressful, and how I was dealing with fame and the pressures of work was by emotionally eating. So I did a detox, at a place called Viva Maya Altersee, which is in Austria, which you might have noticed I've just been to kind of bookend my journey. So I went there and did a detox. I had a lot of what's called candida in my gut, which loves the sugar, makes me crave the sugar, and I had a lot of that. So I had to try to get rid of that, because there's nothing worse than trying to be healthy and then feeling like starving all the time. And that's what that candida, that pesky candida does. So I went to Austria with my friend Carly and did a detox, and then started to feel a whole lot better, but hadn't totally put both feet into the health journey at that point. But I was like, okay. And then when 2020 rolled around, I wrote a little letter to myself about I'm really gonna give it my all this year. And then I did. So the whole process was to kind of hit it from all different angles. So let's start first with the physical activity. And I know I'm in a lucky position. Like I do have access to really amazing personal trainers, but I want you guys to know that the majority of the exercise that I've done this year has just been me going out for a walk. Whether I'm walking in Sydney, I'm walking in New York, I walked down to the Statue of Liberty this morning. In Sydney, I walk around Sydney Harbour. In Los Angeles, I normally walk at Griffith Park on all different routes there. That is free. You can do it. It's safe. And walking is the best way, like for me, for my body type, to metabolize fat. So yeah, I do have some amazing trainers. Gunnar Peterson, who's also, trains the world champion Los Angeles Lakers, is their strength and conditioning coach. In LA, and Jono Castano in Australia. Shout out to Jono. And I've had many great trainers in the past, who I've all adored. I just, something about your relationship with a trainer, you always chit chat and I always like to have a good time as well when I train. But it's great. But what I will say is the walking, oh my God, guys, you cannot get past walking. Listen to a podcast, listen to some motivational books or anything. Put on your music. I have like a gym playlist, which is kind of pop songs and stuff. I have I'm so dorky. I have my musical theatre playlist with all my favourite musical songs. And then I have like, what's it called? I think it's called like Uphill or Hardcore or something, which is more music that I like, but it's like that really gets you going, like really moves you up that hill. I have one of those playlists as well. So depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I'll listen to that. And there's some amazing audiobooks. So one of the first ones I listened to was from one of my doctors, Dr. Habib Siddiqui, called Within. That is it's kind of a book about how weight and, your physical is related to what's going on mentally with you. And so that was also a really good place to start for me. So apart from the initial detox, then to get into, listening to things and learning about myself. Okay, so on the physical side, my biggest tip, guys, get out there and walk. Like, I know it's getting colder here in America in the Northern Hemisphere, but just give it a go. God, even if you can do an hour, that's fantastic. That's what I like to do when I go walking. And it is the best. Just get your body moving. I love playing sports and stuff as well. If you can do that with friends. And weirdly, I never thought I would like hiking, walking uphill. Like, who would have thought that would be a fun activity? But frick, it's good. Like, to be out in nature, get that air into your lungs. Like, I really, really love it. And so I do that now all the time. Okay, so that's the physical side of things. And the physically, I mean, it's quite straightforward. You try to do exercises that either are burning fat, like, moderate walking. You can do exercises to try to boost your cardiovascular activity, which is like interval training. You might do a little sprint if you can. I mean, I'm not big on running normally, but I try to elevate the heart rate and work on the cardiovascular system. And then weights. And ladies, especially ladies, don't be afraid of weights. I freaking love lifting weights. It just makes you feel like really strong. I know you can't see my muscles through this mesh, but I love lifting weight. I love that feeling of feeling strong, powerful. And the weights are so good for you, for not only your muscles but for your bones as well. And so there's all types of physical activity, but like, if you've got bad knees, bad ankles or something, try swimming. Like, try to get into your local pool and do that. So the physical side, people ask me like, oh, well, how much are you training? It's normally 6 out of 7 days. I normally have Sunday as a rest day. And I'm normally doing at least an hour of physical activity the other days. But, that can simply be walking. Like today, I just walked to the Statue of Liberty. And not at a fast pace either. Just got out there, breathed, read it, So physical. The second part of the rebel triangle of health, I'm making this up I'm not making it up, I haven't really talked about it much in depth, so please forgive me if I don't make total sense, but is the nutrition side of things. Now, I should say to you guys that I was, when I was like in college, I was diagnosed with something called PCOS, which stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. And it's quite common, like, I don't know, some statistics say like 10% of women have it. I can kind of tell when people have it, usually by their body type. They normally have a similar body type to me, and how they carry their weight, and it can create a hormone imbalance. And taking it now though. But basically, that, and combined with my genetics. Have you guys had your DNA tested? I freaking love getting your DNA tested and you find out things. And surprise, surprise, I have the gaining weight gene. You can either have the gene that is kind of in the middle about weight, or the gene where you can't hold your weight. It's hard for you to put on weight, or the gene of you love gaining weight. I'm the gene that I love gaining weight, which is great if we're ever in a famine, guys. Like, you don't see me rushing to the supermarket trying to stock up on food because difficult for me to lose weight, which isn't an excuse, but it's more difficult than your normal person. So nutrition was like a big deal because you can't out-train a bad diet, which is something that I should have known but really didn't know until this year. Like, I'd be like, yeah, but I'm going to the gym, I'm crushing it. I should be able to eat, 3,000, 4,000 calories a day because I am burning it off, but it just wasn't working like that, and I had to train so hard. So what I've had to do is really look at what I'm eating and I guess, I mean, I'm someone who grew up eating fast food several times a week. My mum will love me telling these secrets. Pizza Hut, McDonald's, which is so tasty. It's nothing against those companies. Oh my God, In-N-Out Burger in LA. Love it. But the problem is, I was eating it way too often. And I have a real sweet tooth, as I was just saying. And basically I only used to eat like carbs and sugar. For some weird reason, I thought that glucose makes you smarter, because you know how in your brain you have, when you're thinking, the neurons fire and they're covered in a little coating of fat. And I thought that's why models are dumb, because they don't have enough fat in their body. So the brain, instead of going ping, 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 when they're thinking about something, it just goes ping, ping, like that, because they don't have the nice juicy bit of fat that's making those neurons fire really fast. Where I got this idea from, I do not know. But when I was like studying, when I was doing law school exams, I would always have little candies with me. I'd always have some little jelly beans or Smarties or something, because I thought, oh yeah, this is making me smarter. Turns out it wasn't. It was just my stupid belief. And so I did have a very poor nutritional diet. I think I would like order salad from a menu when I was like 30 and beyond that. Before that, no way. Never would I order salad. There'd just be no way. So my diet was pretty bad, and at a certain point, yeah, you can blame your upbringing or whatever, and I didn't have good influences in that department growing up. They're amazing in other areas, but maybe not in nutrition. But at a certain point, I had to take responsibility for myself. I'm an adult, and even though the little girl in me wants all the snacks and all the candy, I can't have it. So basically the trick for my body type, and there's different ways to work out what you should be eating, and you can do blood tests and you can do things to work out what's good for your body type. But for me, a high protein diet was the way to go. Because when I'm eating like a chicken breast, I'm not going like, I'm going like, I'm chewing and eating mindfully. By the way, that's a big thing you learn at Viva Maya. Eating mindfully, and just you feel satisfied and then you stop eating. Whereas if I'm eating a whole freaking bag of chips, I'm just like devouring that, and suddenly there's a ton of calories and game over. No weight loss that week. So basically I changed to a high protein diet. Does this mean I eat healthy and clean every day? No, far from it. But I am prioritizing where I can. If I go out to a restaurant, I'll try the salmon, a chicken breast. I don't eat much meat. That's why it was hard. I was mainly vegetarian. But now I really have to concentrate on it, because my body just responds well to protein. So, I might get a protein smoothie, because that's easier for me to eat, with some vegan protein in it, which is awesome. But nutritionally, the only thing is, I do try to stay under 1,500 calories, because again, of my body type, if I want to lose weight in that week, I kind of have to stay under the 1,500 each day. But now I'm going in more into like a maintenance phase. It'll probably be about 2,000, 2,500, because I do work out like a beast. So I can eat a bit more. Now that I've hit my goal weight and I'm maintaining. So yeah. Hopefully I don't sound like the biggest wanker saying all this stuff. I'm really I'm really just saying this because a lot of people have been interested, and I'm trying to help you, because God only knows that I struggled with being healthy. I mean, what I didn't struggle with is like, I liked being curvy, and I still, whatever weight I end up being or whatever, I still want to be curvy, and still I feel like I'm confident at any size, because your size isn't the one thing that defines you. It's your whole personality, it's all your skills and abilities and everything. So I'm a very confident person in that respect. But anyways, I'm reading some of your messages now and getting distracted. They weren't coming up before, but now they're coming up, and now I see them, and that's awesome. Thank you so much for the support and whatever. I shouldn't say whatever, for the support, for the well wishes, for all the love out there, because it really has helped. One of the reasons why I made my journey public on social media is for accountability, because I didn't want to just say it and then not follow through. And then I thought, if I made it public, I'd have to be more accountable. And yeah. Okay, hopefully I haven't totally lost my train of thought. So we've talked about, the physical side of being healthy, the nutritional side. I forgot to say about drinking water. I try to drink 2 or 3 litres a day, which I probably should even try to drink a little bit more. But if I can manage 2 to 3 litres, then I'm feeling good. All right. Oh, and Viva My Altacy is just leaving a comment saying congrats. Thank you, guys. I only just got back from Austria, because as when you're losing weight, obviously the first few kilos come off real quick. But when you're getting down to like your 27th, 28th kilo, it's a lot harder. So I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to go back to Austria, to Viva My Altacy, and to just knock off those last 3 kilos that I just knocked off. And that's why I think I hit my goal early. My original goal was, I used to sit always at just about over 100 kilos, and I wanted to get under 75 kilos, and it's really cool to have reached that now. Although weight, guys, you cannot define yourself by a number. The weight is not the be all and end all. I needed some tangible measurements to follow progress, But now, I was talking to Dr. Schubert at Viva Maya, and now that I've hit the goal, I'll probably only weigh myself about once a month, and just, see that I haven't wildly gone one way or the other too much, because it isn't about a number on a scale. What I was doing is to improve my overall health and to improve my whole lifestyle, to make me a happier, healthier person. And probably one of the biggest issues in my life was that I would struggle. I would get in this cycle of negativity, because I'd try to exercise and work really hard, and then I'd just feel tired, and then I'd eat, a couple desserts, but then I'd feel really guilty about eating it, and then you feel a bit of shame for doing that. It's like, why can't I stick to this and whatever? And then it would just be this cycle that would go round and round and round and round and round constantly for 20 years. And basically what I wanted to do is free myself. So that comes to the third thing I wanted to talk about, which is the emotional side, which to me is the biggest. It's the biggest, because for me, what I was saying before, you guys, is that I suffer from emotional eating. It's my vice. Everyone has a vice, okay, guys? You might be a smoker or a drinker or whatever. Everyone has a vice, and mine was overeating and emotional eating. So that is something I hadn't really worked on before on the emotional side. And I'm really glad I did. And do I have all the answers? No, but have I done a lot of work on myself to realize the unhealthy patterns and unhealthy behaviors I was doing and why I was doing them? And it doesn't mean they've gone away. Like, it does not. I filmed something earlier today and was a bit, I don't know, not stressed out, but like, you know, just not feeling at ease. And then I did have a chocolate bar, and it's still like the old patterns, they still come up. They're maybe just not every day now, but they still, like, if I'm, you know, worried or anxious or whatever, it still comes up for me. And so it's not something that's just going to disappear. It's just something I have to like manage now moving forward. And I want to say to anybody out there who, you know, you guys have seen me in movies and stuff, and you know a bit about me, and if you've struggled like how I've struggled with emotional eating and overeating, like, I just want you to know that it doesn't mean you're like a bad person or you should feel bad about yourself or guilty or ashamed or anything like that, because everyone has vices, and that just might happen to be yours. And it's just about how you manage it and what you can do to try to replace your unhealthy habits with healthy ones. So on the emotional side, again, everybody's different, and some people might have triggers in their lives or people in their lives or things that have triggered them to overeat. And I know I would wear my weight as a bit of a barrier, you know, maybe so that people wouldn't get close to me, or it would be a bit of protection in a way because you were bigger. And, you know, I'd always make jokes about like, oh, well, no one's going to kidnap a bigger girl, or no one's going to, I don't know, I won't get too dark with it. But like, I just, it's hard when I talk about the emotional stuff because it's hard. Okay, I can do this though. I know I'm all like, you know, but sometimes talking about all the personal stuff, it's difficult, and not everything I've fully processed yet in my brain. So sometimes when I talk about it, it might not come out so eloquently, like as if I'm promoting a movie or something, you know, and I know what I'm saying. This is a bit different because it's on the emotional side. But what I found is that why I was doing those unhealthy behaviors is I wasn't treating myself with love and respect. And anybody else out there, I would try to treat with love and respect. But myself, I probably wasn't. I'd leave myself to last. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And I just wasn't valuing myself and thought, you know, telling myself negative things and going, yeah, well, stuff it. Like, yeah, just eat that whole thing of ice cream or that whole packet of brownies because, yeah, who cares? Like, whatever, you deserve that. And that was hard. And so what I'm trying to do is change those patterns so you're more loving and you're treating yourself with more respect. Does it mean I don't want those sweet treats? No, it doesn't mean that. I still want them a lot, but it means that I'm working on self-love and yeah, that's guys. That is a hard concept to master. I don't know fully where that came from, whether it's sometimes inherited, sometimes from being a woman, sometimes something's happened in your life, someone said things to you when you're very young, or all this stuff that you develop a low self-worth. And obviously, as I've said before, like, I'm very confident, skilled, accomplished person, but I still suffered with having low self-worth and, not loving I mean, it's hard because I know you guys see me and like, I am so confident, like, because I know as a whole package, I'm, feel like I'm a good package or whatever. Wait, I shouldn't talk of myself as a package, but like, you know what I mean? But I must have not had high self-worth at a lot of times because I was engaging in behaviors that weren't healthy and were really detrimental to myself. So yeah. So did a lot of work. One of my doctors, Dr. Sadeghi, taught me how to do something called purge emotional writing, which this is something anyone can do at home. So basically, you get your phone out, you set a 12-minute timer, and if you read his book Within, or some of his other materials, you can learn more professionally how to do it. But basically, you're cleansing yourself of all your emotions by writing them down. And and normally how I like to do it is end in gratitude and seeing what I'm grateful for and what I feel blessed about. And some days I know what's going on in the world that can seem terribly hard to think of like 5 things you're grateful for. But even if it is just, oh my God, the sun came out today, or I got to watch that show on TV that I liked, or my one friend texted me, or even if it's something like really, really small, even if it's just, I'm still breathing, I woke up this morning, even if it's that to be grateful for, that's amazing. So in your 12 minutes, you write out all your emotions. So you're essentially purging them and cleansing yourself of these emotions that we hold within. Because I don't know about you guys, but like I overanalyze everything, and I just if you're having a disagreement with somebody, it can really stress me out, or having a problem at work, or and so you can write it all out, and freaking hate that person or whatever, they're a bitch, like whatever, and then you write it out, and then sometimes you try to maybe see it from their perspective and go, or not, or say something like, but I forgive them, whether or not you tell them that or what, it doesn't matter, and you just write it out, and then I like to end in something positive, like about being grateful, and then at the 12 minutes is up, you get the piece of paper, you burn it, you put it in a shredder, flush a bit down the toilet. You don't want anybody else to read this, and it kind of helps you cleanse your emotions. And I guess what was happening with me is I wasn't properly processing my emotions, and so whether it was like from fame or being a movie star or whatever, and so it wasn't, and so all I was doing was eating to numb those emotions, but that wasn't the best thing to do. The best thing is to process those emotions and get rid of them that way, so that I don't have to numb myself from anything. But it's with all addictions or whatever, that's what they normally all are, as vices, is numbing you from what you from the emotions. But emotions aren't bad. You know what? It's life. Life is ups and downs all the time. So that purge emotional writing is my big tip, that again anyone can do on the emotional side. And there's so many cool podcasts and stuff you can listen to that are free, that talk about body image and body positivity, and mental strategies for coping with anxiety and stress. And even though I don't suffer from actual clinical depression, but there's always times when you can get depressed, you can feel down, and these little, there's so many little tips and tricks. And if I, think of more stuff, there's so much going on in my mind right now, but when there's more things or products that I think can help or whatever, I'm going to let you guys know. But yes, okay, so that's basically a rundown of what I did all year, tackling health from like the physical, nutritional, and the emotional standpoint. And am I glad that I did it? Yeah. There was actually like a lot of people in my life who didn't want me to change, who didn't want me to lose weight, and maybe didn't even want me to be happier. But I thought at this point in my life, and my career is very demanding, I have to travel all around the world, I have to be healthy, I have to have amazing stamina to like sing and dance and act all day. I am so glad that I did it. The goal was never to be skinny. It was never to fit into a certain dress size. I put a goal weight on there because I needed some tangible thing, but I've also done some body measurements and stuff like that as well, so the weight's not the only thing. But I am really glad that I did it, because I think it was time. Like I'd been overweight for about 20 years, and I love playing some of the comedic characters like Fat Amy and from Pitch Perfect and everything. I love all that stuff. But at a certain point, I knew in my heart that I was engaging in some unhealthy behaviors, and that I needed to change those for the better. And so what I'm proud of myself for is for doing that, and having like a lot more balance now in my life. And obviously you feel better, and you know what I mean? And I'm still curvy at my weight I am now, and proud of that. And I'm just a look a bit different. Sometimes I don't notice it as much, because for me it has been an everyday thing. But sometimes when I see the media posting side by side pictures, which I hate, by the way, I think it's, but sometimes when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, there is quite a big difference in how I look physically. But at the end of the day, it's about balance and being like a better version of me. And everyone's body type is different, but just try to be a healthier you. And in this year, like a global pandemic, what is the most important, well, one of the most important things? Health. Because if you're healthy and you have a strong immune system, you're less likely to be susceptible to the virus or to serious complications, and your health is so important. And like, guys, I feel like there's a reason why all those billionaires and those CEOs, they really believe that health is wealth. Like they do, because they know that without health they don't really have anything. And that's something that I've come to realize as well. So anyways, now we're gonna get into the question time. So have you got a cool question? I know I've been rattling on, but type in your question now, and I will do my very, very best to answer you lovely people who have been listening. So, okay. Someone's asking, the first question I see is, what are you doing about mindful exercises? The one big thing I learnt at Viva Maya is this thing about mindful eating. Do any of you guys, whenever you have a meal, like have to watch TV as well? I am like so guilty of that. And guess what? It's terrible for you, because you may not be concentrating on if you're full. You may easily be overeating because you're also watching the TV. And I would have all my meals in front of the TV. I still find it hard not to. But mindful eating is about taking one bite at a time and eating slowly and really chewing your food. And that's good. The only other mindfulness thing I think I'm doing is sometimes I've downloaded a couple of those apps about meditation and just getting back into your body and stuff if I feel very stressed out, and that's really good for being mindful and coming back into the present moment. So yeah. Okay, the next question, Skylar asked, how do you not get bored with meals? Well, because I eat all different things. Like, it's not some super strict diet. So I still go out to restaurants. I cook myself. So I am eating a variety of stuff. I'm just concentrating on the protein. So I haven't actually gotten bored with that. Okay. What are the other questions? Some went by. Some of the questions went by, so I didn't see them. So if you can, type it again, if you can. Oh, I appreciate you sending me love hearts, but I need some questions, guys. Not just the love hearts, although sending it. Oh, okay. Someone's talking about that they feel guilty every time they eat. I mean, I feel for you, because I feel guilty, like if I'd, worked really hard, and then this is what used to happen before, and then I'd say, now I'm going to treat myself, and then I'd eat like a whole Ben and Jerry's ice cream or a whole pizza or something, which is way too many calories for me to consume, and then you'd feel guilty. I don't think you should ever feel guilty about eating like nutritious, healthy, like balanced meals. Like, never feel guilty about that, because your body needs fuel and you need sustenance and you need to eat. And if you're eating good quality, healthy food, then, that's amazing. But I feel you on that. Yeah, I would feel guilty. And then weirdly, guilting myself didn't make it any better. It kind of made it worse. So my tip, because then the next day I'd just be feeling shit about myself because I ate all that stuff, and it would be this weird cycle. So what I do now is I'm just like, if I go off the rails a bit, I go, you know what? I forgive myself for doing that. And I release myself from any feelings of guilt or shame or whatever. I'm like, yeah, and just release it, because beating yourself up about it is really not going to do you any favors whatsoever. Okay. All right. What are the other questions, guys? Apart from saying hi, and I will say hi, and I love you guys, and thanks for tuning in. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of comments, but any questions you've really been... Someone saying, do I eat potatoes, rice, and fruits? Yeah, all three of them. There's nothing I don't eat. I have a little saying, nothing is forbidden. But, and that, so nothing really should be. Someone wrote, did you have any friends that weren't supportive? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really, really good question. It was weird. I was coming into America yesterday, and they're like, the security guys was like, oh, sorry, you're getting so much criticism for losing weight. Like, and I was like, oh, am I? Because most people who know me and, seen the changes in my life think it's like 100% positive. I'm trying to think. It wasn't necessarily friends that weren't supportive, but industry-wise, there were a lot of people that wanted me to stay how I was. They wanted me to stay Fat Amy, And at the end of the day, it's my life, it's my body, and Hollywood can have a way of typecasting you, but I didn't want to stay like that. I wanted to change, and it came from me. So, yeah, that's what happens there. But I found all my friends to be actually very, very supportive, and, you know, no real dramas there. But I know that sometimes some people, when you're changing for the better, they won't be so happy for you. They might, you know, try to sabotage you even, but it's, you know, you got to stay true to yourself and stay focused. Okay, what else? Oh, thanks for the love hearts. Appreciate it. Okay, do you find yourself obsessing over food now? I find it draining, worry about what I'm eating all the time. Okay, that's a great question, because I was worried about that, because they sometimes call it like addiction transfer, where, you know, you might go into one where you count all your calories like obsessively and put them into the app and do all of that. And I was actually concerned about that, because I think my personality is a little bit addictive. So I would say no, I don't obsess about it, and I'm certainly not going to be weighing myself. I was weighing myself only about once every 2 weeks anyway, and now I just go to like once a month just to keep on track and just make sure nothing's crazy. But I knew a girl, right, when I first came to Hollywood, and she would obsessively weigh all of her food, like to the gram. And I remember watching her and being like, she'd lost a lot of weight, and I just remember going, I don't want to be like that, because that's almost the same as like what I was before, just in a different form. So do I have to be conscious of what I'm eating? Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, because of the PCOS that I have, and you know, my body loves to hold weight. But I feel like after a year, I've gotten to a more healthy place of balance, which is, you know, been a journey to get to. But I feel like if you are obsessing about food in that way, it might be good to talk to somebody, or to read some books on about it, because the goal is to have balance. The goal is not to obsess about it. It's to live your life and to be fueled properly for the life that you want to live. Okay. Someone's talking about self-worth and self-confidence and how they are very different. They are, because I'm a confident person. You know, you guys, I was walking the red carpet and being twice or three times the width of other actresses and whatever, but I still like thought I looked good, and did look good. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have high self-worth and that you're loving yourself how you should. And so there's a disconnect sometimes with other celebrities who are bigger in the public eye. I have no doubt that they're very confident because they're so fucking talented and amazing, but they may, like me, also have some self-worth issues, and they may not. That might just be their body type, but you never know. Okay, all right. Last questions, you guys. Oh my god, I've been on here for almost an hour. Oh my god. Last questions. You can honestly ask me anything. I really appreciate the support that everyone's been giving me. So I'm just trying to give back in what I can, even though someone's saying please post a picture of the books, some of the books. I will. You know what, doll? I will. I'll put them on my story. Okay. Any other questions? I'm seeing a lot of emojis. Kathleen's saying she loves my curtain bangs. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Kathleen, you legend. She wrote that show, Teenage Bounty Hunters, on Netflix. Check it out. What else should I, okay. someone's talking about they've got a diary and written in it every day, and it definitely helps to get things off your chest. Totally agree. I'm a big fan of diaries and now writing out things. Okay, someone's saying, how much weight did I lose? I have lost about 28 kilos. Again, I don't like to keep the exact number, but it's about 28 kilos from when I started late last year. That's a lot. If I picked up 28 kilos suitcase or something, that is freaking heavy. So yeah, I'm proud of myself, but I'm just under 75 kilos now, and I guess I'm a pretty normal height, so I am kind of in a normal, still be it on the higher range, but now in a normal weight zone for my height. I'm actually proud of myself for not crying whilst talking about this. Sometimes it's it can be an emotional thing talking about health, and it makes me sad sometimes that I didn't value myself enough before all of this to be healthy and to treat myself with respect, and that's kind of really sad. But you know what? No regrets. I have an amazing freaking life, and I'm sure you guys can tell from what I post. I live life to like the total fullest. Life is short, you know. You got to just go for it. And for all my, bigger girls and guys out there, I want to say that, beauty has nothing to do with size. Beauty, my like Botticelli body in the 18th century was like number one. That's like on the top of the list. Never feel bad about yourself. But if you are engaging in things that you think are unhealthy, just try to make some positive changes in your life. But never ever feel bad about your size. Beauty can be at any size, and that's what I'm a big proponent on. Or someone's asking me, is the hot guy on your Instagram your boyfriend? Yes, that is correct. But he's a very private person, so don't like to give away too much in that department. But I will say we dated before I started any of this health journey, as well as now. So goes to show you, ladies, you don't have to be a certain size to get a boyfriend. All right. Okay. Any last questions? It's getting to the hour. And I'm trying to see. Why is someone asking me, are you crazy? Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Sometimes my characters are crazy. Sometimes I do crazy things. But no, I'm not crazy. And then there's just a lot of compliments coming in. Which is great. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, exactly. KT, health is wealth. Thank you. Just thank you for your support. And who knows what's going to happen? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. My goal is to have this healthy, balanced life. I've got so many projects coming up, filming for 2021, because I'm trying to entertain you. I'm trying to create content, create movies and TV shows and theatre projects that have really great, positive, uplifting messages. And some are just entertaining, but most of them have really good messages behind them. And 2021 I know is going to be a busy, insane year, so I'm glad that I took the time I needed to take this year to focus on my health. Guys, get out there, walk, drink water, find out what foods are best to fuel your body, And if you're like me and suffer from emotional eating, look into that and become curious as to why that is and how you can help yourself in that area. And apart from that, sending you lots of love. I am signing off from New York City. And thanks for tuning in, because I don't get the chance to do this very often. So thank you so much. And happy holidays. Again, this year's been crazy, unprecedented. And you know what? We're all getting through it. And I hope you guys are, whether it's just in a small way or a large way, absolutely crushing it. For those who want to do a healthy New Year's resolution, go for it. And maybe put it on your social media so you can become accountable if you succeed or fail. Either way, you'll learn something, so there's nothing to be afraid of. All right, okay. Mwah! Lots of love, guys. I'm going to go and cook dinner. Maybe some beef tacos. Maybe I have this other vegetarian pasta that I make. But yeah, sending lots of love. Thanks for listening. Bye.